Agostini consistently lapped at over 99 on the new MV3, so today he should easily beat all the private owners. Jack Ahern thinks so anyway.
Personally, I don't think we'll see Agostini. I think he knows enough about it now to be in front of the private Nordens and things. But I'll plug for first private as usual, or first Norden. Got to beat Paddy Driver anyway.
You don't stand a chance, Jack.
And that was ever cheerful Paddy Driver, who stands a very good chance of finishing well up himself on his 5-speed Tom Kirby Matchless. Now, what about the 37 3/4 mile TT course? Mike Harewood thinks that, if anything, it's slower than last year.
Oh yes, they've removed a house from the other side of Belough Bridge. It hasn't done anything. You can't go over it any quicker.
Any deterioration anywhere?
Yes, going up Craig Willis Hill and Cronky Valley Straight, very, very bumpy, much bumpier than it was last year, and it's getting worse every year. I don't know what they're going to have to. They're going to have to resurface it or something, I think.
It looks like a fairly easy ride for you, but would you agree with that?
I'm afraid to have to say it, but yeah, providing I don't fall off or do something silly, I'm afraid to say it looks like it. Yeah.
Well, we'll soon know. But it's significant that in its 42 years of history, only one man, John Surtees, has beaten the superstition that the senior TT cannot be won by the same man 3 years running. As the 67 starters get away, it's dry at the grandstand, but there's heavy rain at Belough and Ramsey, and before half the field's away, there's rain on the Glencrutchery Road too. But it's dry at Ballacrane when Dunphy's Norton, Woodman's Matchless and Halewood's MV arrive almost together. And now here's Agostini's MV. Halewood's wasting no time. He's leading on the road at Selby, 5 seconds ahead of Woodman's Matchless. Then it's Dunphy, just ahead of Agostini. Here's Mike completing lap 1 at 95 miles an hour and giving a big thumbs down for the weather's foul. Agostini's past Dunphy and he's almost caught Woodman's Matchless. Halewood leads, then Agostini, a brilliant second in his first senior TT. Woodman third, 24 seconds ahead of Dunphy, and then the Nortons of Griff Jenkins and John Cooper. And at Ballacrane, Agostini's got ahead of Woodman. In appalling weather, rain and sleet, John Cooper's come off on the mountain, and at Craig Willis Hill, the section Halewood was criticising, Agostini's fallen off and he's out of the race. So, on lap 3, Halewood leads Woodman by over 2 minutes as he approaches Braddon Bridge. Joe Dunphy's speeded up though, and at Bradden he's almost caught Woodman. On lap 3 at Balig Bridge, Griff Jenkins is fourth on his Steve Lansfield Norton. But Jenkins has to retire, and that brings Mike Duff's matchless up to fourth place. The weather's even worse now, and Halewood's long overdue at Ramsey. But here he is. And what a sensation for Mike, like Agostini's, come off at Craig Willis. And it's a very battered MV he's riding now. Smashed windscreen, bent handlebars, no left footrest and flattened megaphones. Surely he can't go on like this. Now he's due at the pits, and he'll be stopping for more than petrol.
It's Halewood, here he is, what's going to happen? He's coming into the pit, get the glasses on him and see what the machine's on now. Now, fix the throttle. He's shouting across to, I guess, maybe his father, Stan Halewood, who is behind the pit, something to him. The petrol filler is in some time ago. The MV mechanic is giving a quick check over the machine, looking first at the right, then at the left. Mike closes the filler cap, bangs it shut. The goggles go across, and he's going to change his goggles. And meantime, Derek Woodman is well round signpost corner. He's going, it looks to me, yes, he's up into first gear.
Just imagine Halewood's feelings now. Shaken after a nasty crash, he's got no windscreen. His MV's bound to be handling badly, and he'll be a very worried man. And as Halewood approaches Coulter Bridge, Woodman and Dunphy in second and third places set off after their pit stops. Kirkmichael on lap 4, Duff and Driver are together, battling for fourth place on their matchlesses. Gallant Mike Halewood's riding the race of his life and treating his MV as though nothing had happened. Just listen to it as Mike takes Hilbury on lap 4. As Paddy Driver roars round Hilbury in fifth place on his matchless, the order on lap 4 is Halewood leading Woodman by nearly 2 minutes at 91.5. With Dunphy third, only 10 seconds behind Woodman, Duff fourth, and Selwyn Griffiths sixth on his matchless. An MV, a Norton, and 4 matchlesses on the leaderboard. Way down in 16th place, but going well on the only BMW in the race, Hans Otto Butenuth starts his 5th lap. On lap 5 at Stella Maris, Hailwood's MV sounds most peculiar. Behind Mike, second and third on the road and on time, Woodman and Dunphy are still together. But suddenly the leaderboard's transformed, for Woodman and driver are out with machine trouble. So Duff's third now, and here at Contimona are the new 4th, 5th and 6th men. Ian Byrne, Norton, Selwyn Griffiths, matchless, and Billy McCosh, matchless. And now another sensation. Hailwood pit stops again with one of his throttle slides jammed shut. 68 seconds later, off goes Mike with his lead over Dunphy reduced to a minute and one cylinder running flat out all the time. But as it takes Parliament Square Ramsey for the last time with a straggler, Mike's MV sounds in surprisingly good tune. Keeping the MV going by sheer guts and willpower, determined to do the hat-trick and beat the hoodoo, whilst behind him Byrne, McCosh and Griffiths, still together in 4th, 5th and 6th places, take Parliament Square. Back at the grandstand, we wait for Hailwood to win his 7th TT, 4th Senior TT and his 3rd Senior TT in succession. A wonderful ride, marred only by that crash. But how did it happen, Mike?
I think probably the real trouble was I wasn't concentrating properly, and I sort of wound it up a bit too hard and found myself sliding along the road on my back.
And what then? A quick look round and...
Yeah, I leant the bike up against the bank and kicked the handlebar straight and had a quick check over and fired off straight away, and off I went.
After you'd got going again, what effect in the engine department was from the 3rd lap onwards?
There was no effect at all. It was the engine was still going very smoothly indeed. It wasn't until the 5th lap, halfway down Solby Straight, that the carburetor slide dropped down, and from then on it was going on 3 cylinders until I stopped for the 2nd time. We were going to repair it, then they decided to take too long, so they took the slide right out.
And you started again at the end of the 5th, beginning of the 6th lap, and how was the engine running then?
It was going all right when it was full bore, you know, because they were all sort of lined up, all the carburetors. But when you shut it off to go around the corners, the one carburetor that was open could have kept dragging the bike along, and it was quite exciting.
In my opinion, that ride of Mike Hailwood's was one of the greatest in TT history. Everyone expected him to win, and win he did. But no one expected him to have to ride half the race on a crumpled bike after a high-speed crash and 2 very long pit stops. In fact, when you consider that Hailwood also had to cope with weather conditions that at times could hardly have been worse, you realise that he is a very worthy world champion. In fact, the greatest. Mike Hailwood, we all salute you.